The Vegas Golden Knights became the first team to advance to the second round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Chris Gawlik of Locked On VGK joins us to talk about their prospects to make a long playoff run. Gil Martin here. The Locked On Road to the Stanley Cup continues as we welcome Chris Gawlik from Locked On VGK to take stock of the Golden Knights' chances to get beyond round two and make a long playoff run. And Chris, first team to advance to the second round, what was the biggest reason your team was able to beat the Winnipeg Jets?
Adjustments and finding speed through the neutral zone. Game one was tough for the Golden Knights. It was concerning. It was, okay, can we last against a big and heavy team who can clog up the neutral zone? VGK has struggled against a lot of teams, particularly some of those East Coast teams who play a much heavier type of game and slow down the neutral zone. Winnipeg was absolutely fantastic at that in game one, on top of their physical play, all the little post-whistle skirmishes and just everything that was happening. And then VGK found a way. A comparison I use, NASCAR of all things, right? So NASCAR drivers are constantly going to different spots on the track to find speed, more or less on your super speedways and stuff like that. Sometimes they go high, they go low, and just trying to see what the best line is. And VGK, I think, did the same thing. They did different ways to find speed through the neutral zone, and eventually it worked. And, we didn't get the sweep, but we got the gentleman's sweep, right? 4-1, and moving on as we wait to see who we got next.
Who is the series MVP for VGK and why?
Me and Tony just hit this. It'll be on Locked On Vegas Golden Knights. Actually, it's probably premiering right now, looking at the time. Tony, I believe, liked Chandler Stevenson down the stretch for what he did. And I can't remember if he said Stevenson or Stone, but you can make a case. I actually went with William Karlsson. William Karlsson was extremely important in the games when the series was in the balance. William Karlsson was the only one that scored game one. I believe he got goals in games 2 and 3 and then 5 as well. And just a good defensive game. And we actually talked about William Karlsson when we talked about the key to the series and someone who I thought really needed to step up. And William Karlsson did. So I'm going to take William Karlsson just because he really got the team going. And then from there, Stone and Stevenson and Brossoit finished the job for us.
Yeah, they did a very good job of that. Now, what was there a potential weakness exposed against Winnipeg that will need to be addressed going forward for VGK?
Special teams. Special teams, pardon me, I still got raisin bran in my mouth here. It was, it tastes good though, it's raisins still. It wasn't a flake, it was the raisin, so that's a good thing. So special teams are a concern. I believe they got 3 power play goals in the series, but going into the game, VGK, not just the power play, but the penalty kill as well, VGK was in the bottom 25% on both sides of the special team battles right now. So that's not a good thing going forward. Edmonton right now is up 3-2, at least at the time we're recording this, and we'll see if Edmonton does advance Saturday night against the LA Kings, because Edmonton's power play, we know it's like at 150% right now. It feels like they score 2 goals every power play they get. That's how good they are right now. VGK is going to have to clean that up, and they're going to have to find a way to stay out of the box. And if they do get in the box, they're going to find a way to kill those penalties. And this isn't just the problem if we play Edmonton. It's if we play LA and go on, however long the VGK goes. Special teams are the weakness, hand and foot.
How does this series win change the long-term outlook for your team? And is this playoff run considered a success now, or what more still needs to be done to make it a success?
So early in the season, right, VGK misses the playoffs season 5. You can attribute a lot of that to injuries, but they did not make the playoffs, end of story, no excuses. So now you wonder what a successful season would be. Myself and Tony on Locked On Vegas Golden Knights, we both felt that VGK would be a second or third ranked team in the division for most of the season and maybe make a push at the end, but we felt they would safely be in the playoffs. So a team like that, you wonder what their ceiling is at the time preseason. And You win a couple rounds, I think you feel somewhat good about that. You make the playoffs, win a round. Maybe if you go out in the second round, okay, fine. But with this VGK team, the window, as deep as this team is, they're old, and they're only going to get older the more time goes on, right? So, in my opinion, right now the goalposts have certainly moved a little bit. The end zone, whatever terminology you want to use, and it's at least conference final or bust. I really think if Vegas does not represent the West in the Cup final, you can look at somewhat of that being a failure, just because how can this team be better next year? Sure, the salary cap finally goes up, was like $2 or $3.5 million or something like that next season, which will help not just the Golden Knights but everybody. But these windows, they're few and far between, and everyone can't be the Islanders and win 4 of these in a row, right?
Very true. Very true. All right. Well, that does it for our VGK wrap up of round 1 here on the Locked On Road to the Stanley Cup. Be sure to subscribe or follow Locked On Vegas Golden Knights for free on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. The Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.